All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today. We're going to be talking about relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Ideal relationships, the kind we all kind of dream of having, right?
Yeah, the fulfilling kind.
Yeah. So to kind of guide us on this little journey, we're looking at a YouTube video and a blog post
Okay.
by a guy who calls himself a shaman.
A shaman, huh? Interesting.
Yeah, Jon Rasmussen. So he has some, I guess you could say unconventional
Right.
approaches
Yeah.
to how to have these great relationships.
Yeah. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say. Could be some stuff we haven't heard before.
Yeah, definitely. So his first tip that he gives is be easy, be light.
Be easy, be light.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think that means?
I mean, in terms of relationships, being easy, being light, sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it sounds kind of like, it sounds nice, but how do we actually do that?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks about, we all have these things that we hold on to, like our beliefs about how things should be
Yeah.
in a relationship. He calls them our sacred cows.
Sacred cow.
Sacred cows, yeah.
Okay. I mean, I guess we all have our own little, expectation, things that we hold on to really tightly.
Yeah. So, I mean, give me an example. What would be like a sacred cow?
Well, I guess you could say, like, if one person believes that, their partner should always do the dishes or, always take out the trash,
Sure.
maybe that's their sacred cow.
Yeah.
Or, if they feel like, my partner should just automatically know how I'm feeling.
Right, exactly.
They should just get me.
Yeah.
Maybe those are examples of those sacred cows.
Right. So he's saying, when we hold on to those too tightly,
Yeah.
it can cause problems.
It makes sense. It's like we create this rigidity in the relationship.
Right.
And then, when things don't go according to our plan, we get all frustrated.
Exactly. So he's saying, try to be more flexible.
Be more easygoing.
Be more easygoing, yeah.
Except that, your partner's going to have a different perspective.
Right.
A different way of looking at things.
Right. So it's like, instead of getting upset or angry, when my partner doesn't do something that I think they should do,
yeah,
maybe try to see it from their point of view.
Exactly. It's about understanding, not about being right all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's where that be easy, be light really comes in.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely choosing understanding
Yeah.
over being right.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's a good tip, but it's,
It's tough. It's easier said than done, right?
Yeah, it's tough to put into practice.
But I think the point is to try.
Okay, so his second tip that he gives
Okay.
is don't take anything personally.
Don't take anything personally.
Yeah, now that one, to me,
Right.
is like, whoa.
Yeah.
How do you even...
That's a tough one.
Yeah, how do you even do that?
Especially in relationships, right? I mean, it's personal.
Right.
It's the people we're closest to, the ones we care about most.
Right,
It's
exactly.
hard not to take things to heart.
Right. So how does he say we can do that?
Okay, so this is where it gets kind of interesting.
Okay.
He talks about he uses this metaphor
Okay.
of the world as a stage.
Okay.
And we're all just actors
Okay.
playing roles.
Okay.
He kind of draws on this idea of archetypes.
Okay.
Like those universal patterns of behavior that we see in stories
Right.
and in myths. Like the hero, the villain, the caregiver, like those
Yeah.
classic characters.
Right, like the archetypes, yeah.
Yeah, and he's saying we see these archetypes play out in real life too.
Okay, I'm with you so far, I'm with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Like our friends, our family members, our partners, like we all embody these different archetypes.
Yeah.
And so what he's saying is, instead of taking someone's behavior so personally, like as a direct attack on us, we can try to see it through the lens of these archetypes.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
So like, for example, maybe your partner
Okay.
is acting out the rebel archetype.
Okay.
Right. And maybe they're not following the rules or they're questioning authority.
Right.
And that's just part of their archetype. It's not necessarily about you.
Oh, that's interesting.
Right.
Okay, so I'm starting to get this.
Yeah.
So like maybe instead of getting upset, because like you're saying, when it's your partner,
Yeah.
you automatically a lot of times take things personally.
Of course. Yeah.
But so instead of getting upset, maybe like try to step back and be like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
maybe this isn't about me at all.
Exactly.
Maybe this is just they're working through their own thing.
Yeah, and maybe seeing it through that lens can help you detach from the emotional sting
Right.
of their actions.
Okay, so you're kind of like taking the power back in a way?
It's like you're taking back your power, yeah.
Okay, I like that. I like
Okay.
that. That's an interesting way to approach it.
Yeah, it's definitely a mind shift.
Yeah.
But I think it can be really helpful in those moments when you're feeling like really triggered by something your partner did.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it can also help with letting go of negativity and grudges,
Right.
right? Because you're not holding on to that personal offense so tightly.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe they weren't actually trying to hurt me.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Maybe they were just, being the rebel that they are.
Right.
Or
Exactly.
whatever archetype they were embodying at that moment.
Okay. Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah. It's a different way of looking at things, isn't it?
It really is. It really is.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so his third tip. Ready for this one?
Yeah, lay it on me.
Cultivate gratitude, resist the pedestal.
Cultivate gratitude, resist the pedestal. Okay, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
What does that mean in terms of relationships?
So, I mean, you think about it. We're in a world now where, we've got Instagram, you're seeing everybody's perfect life.
Right. It's like the highlight reel.
The highlight reel
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. So it's like we're always comparing ourselves,
Right.
Or our relationship
Yeah.
to these kind of unrealistic expectations.
And I think that's where that resist the pedestal part comes in, right?
Yeah.
It's like we put people on a pedestal,
Yeah.
especially at the beginning of a relationship. Everything is new and exciting.
Exactly.
You only see the good stuff. You're like, oh, this person's amazing.
Exactly.
They're perfect.
They're perfect.
But then, as you get closer,
Yeah.
as you get to know them better,
Right.
you start to see their flaws.
The cracks in the facade start to show.
Right, exactly. And then that's when the problems start to happen.
Right.
Right, because you've put them up on this pedestal.
And then they fall off.
They fall off. And it can be,
That's a hard fall.
hard fall, yeah.
Yeah.
So how are we supposed to avoid that?
Okay, so Jon Rasmussen, he talks about cultivating gratitude.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And appreciating people for who they are, flaws and all.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So instead of focusing on,
Okay.
what they're not doing
Right.
or like how they don't meet your expectations,
Right.
try to actively notice and appreciate
Okay.
their good qualities, their strengths.
So it's like he says, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Exactly.
Like,
Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
Just because someone has some flaws doesn't mean they don't have value.
Right. Yeah. We all have our flaws.
Exactly. We're all a mix of strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. And he's advocating for like this non-hierarchical view, like seeing everyone as inherently worthy,
Okay.
regardless of their flaws.
Yeah.
And I think that's really powerful because, it's like if we can truly embrace that perspective
Yeah.
that everyone has value regardless of their imperfections,
Right.
it can really transform our relationships.
Yeah. It's like you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a mind shift.
It's a mind shift.
Yeah.
It's a different way of seeing the world.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, what we're learning from Jon Rasmussen
Mm-hmm.
is that to have these great relationships,
Yeah.
we have to be flexible. We have to be understanding. We have to not take things personally.
not take things
And
personally.
we have to cultivate gratitude.
Cultivate gratitude and appreciate people for who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a lot to to take in, but I think it's really great advice.
It's a lot to process, but I think it's worth it. If we can really internalize these ideas
yeah.
and put them into practice,
Yeah.
it can really make a difference in our lives.
Right.
I mean, I think the big question is, if we really embraced this idea of a non-hierarchical world
Okay.
where everyone's equally valuable,
Yeah.
how would that change our interactions?
Right.
How would that change our expectations and relationships?
Exactly.
I think that's something worth pondering.
Yeah, I think that's a great question to leave our listeners with.
Yeah, something to chew on.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us today, everybody.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
And we'll see you next time
Yeah.
for another deep dive.
All right.
All right, bye.
Bye.